Welcome to the Unwired session on wearables and the future of mobility. I have today Andre Winterhalter, Director of IT at Kaneka, which is a chemicals manufacturer based in the Houston area. And so, Andre, good morning.
Good morning, Alok. Nice to meet you again.
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks for taking some time today to share your insights on wearables. So, I guess my first question is, you went down the mobility journey, you had a vision for the digital manufacturing plant, right? And you deployed various mobile apps on tablets, iPads specifically. And lately there's been a lot of buzz around wearables, but before we go there, perhaps you could just share a few thoughts on what you have done around mobility and then just to set the context.
Sure. I think the main objective of implementing these mobile applications in Kaneka was really to go paperless. And this objective has been achieved. And the second one was really to improve the productivity of our people in the manufacturing areas. And as you might know, using mobile apps has really shortened the training factor for these new employees.
Right.
And they really have endorsed this new user experience. So I think from that perspective we have achieved a lot. And you have walked in our manufacturing units and probably have seen that there is a big excitement, which is still there, even after 1 year of implementation and working with these mobile devices.
Right, right. And so we've talked to the users, and clearly everybody is very happy and using the apps, which is very good. So lately, a lot of buzz around Google, Google Glass and Android-based Wear watches are coming up, and so we were just curious as to how you saw them in relation to the enterprise.
Well, I think that's a good question. I guess you're talking about this, which
right here.
looks a bit of a funny device, right?
Yeah.
In fact, it is really a powerful device, and although we're only at the very beginning of these wearable devices, I think there's a lot of potential. But proof has to come in a manufacturing environment, which is going to be the challenge for these devices. You have walked again through these warehouses. It's warm, you've got people on forklifts, you've got people doing a lot of work, walking around in a dusty environment or not so clean environment. It's a lot of a warehouse environment. Does it have limitations today? The answer is yes. So I think we're probably more doing an experiment with you and your team to really understand how these devices could be used, and they can be very powerful. As you said, you can take cameras and videos as you are just walking hands-free, and I think there's a lot of potential in those. Right,
and so you mentioned the experiment, which is really the Glass app we've built for a warehouse management worker to do goods movement, and that's something we've been experimenting at Kaneka here. But I guess what the other question I had was, you mentioned some use cases. What are some other use cases? Do you possibly see, remote collaboration or video collaboration, anything to that effect in general for wearables?
Not at this point in time, but it is probably more if you talk about the warehouse people having these devices will certainly help in more picture taking than video and lengthy what I would say conversational utilization of it. I think it's more on the spot, pretty rapid. Yes, you could receive instructions. Yes, you could take videos of pieces of equipment and then have some collaboration with the maintenance crews or supervisor. That certainly could happen. But this is going to be a dramatic change in the way that people do work. Change can be good. But the other part which is interesting, we look at these devices as strange things, right?
Right.
Our kids at home, I mean, they're probably more advanced than we are with these devices.
The millennials, yeah.
And so what we need to do is to transport in the business environment what is really happening in your private environment. Why could we not do that? And so I think when you're looking into our workforce in Kaneka, split with the young people and the elderly generation, I think the younger generation will embrace these devices. Elder generation, a bit different, right?
Right.
What is this going to bring to my life? And
right.
Until they experiment, until they use it, you will not.
Very true. So, Andre, yesterday when we were talking, you did mention the smartwatch could be of interest to you, and you see there's a notification coming. Just speak a few. Tell us a little bit about the smartwatch.
I don't know if the smartwatch is really going to appeal to me. I would see more an armband with a digital device there. That would certainly be of interest.
Receiving a notification?
Receiving notification, receiving emails, receiving whatever you need to do your work, right? And I think that is going to be less distracting than having a glass, or probably more practical than looking at your watch. And the fact is that most of our workers do wear gloves, do wear some heavy equipment, and you have to do a bit of physical exercise to get to your watch. It might be less interesting than just having an armband with that information coming to your wrist and easily accessible.
True. All right. So Andre, thank you today for giving us time and sharing your insights. I look forward to catching up with you as you possibly embrace some of these newer technologies.
Come back in a year, Alok. I think you'll be surprised with what can be done, and I think working together we can get there and get a bit of innovation, or more innovation in our working space.
Right, so surely let's go innovate, and thank you folks for listening, and take care till we talk to you again. Thank you.